My name is Aisha Divine. I started doing music when I was 15 years old. I didn't really take it serious until about that age. I started off with, there was this group called LNJ. I think they're called LNJ now, and I was working with them at first. And their dad was writing the music and things like that. And I kind of got into a space where I was like, oh, I kind of want to write my own music because I can't connect to what you're writing because I didn't live through that, or I didn't things like that. So I am born and raised, so I was born in South Minneapolis, and then we kind of moved around a lot. I think there's a lot of really, really dope artists here. I think Minnesota is kind of slept on. I really do. But at the same time, I think major labels are looking at Minnesota. I feel like there's a lot of bigger people looking at me, but they're kind of just watching me progress and move forward, and that's cool. And that's as long as somebody is watching, so that's great. Musically, right now I'm working on an album, so I've been really just keeping my head low, and I've been paying attention to like my art and my body and my health and just like all of those things, and kind of getting my mind into a specific place to create this album, because after Purgatory, that was an entire experience dropping that album. I had a lot of emotions with that album, finally getting over situations in the past and everything like that, it wasn't something that I was expecting at all. I wasn't expecting to be able to just be at peace with certain things that I had experienced that weren't so good, or that whatever. So it was meant for people to be able to just be and be okay in being. I have so much chaos going on in my life with my family. There's like 9 people living in my house right now. It's chaotic, so I make music that makes me feel calm, makes me feel okay. I guess just emotions inspire me a lot. So when I make my music, whether it's happy or sad or anything, I want you to feel like how I felt when I wrote that song. I'm very picky about what's in my music, so I should say that, very picky. I put a lot into my songs. It's never ending sometimes, so sometimes I have to really cut myself off from it. Like, okay, this is finished. I work with Trey V. Moore. I've worked with Alejandro. He is a producer out in California. There's a lot of people. Rich Lee, I worked with Rich Lee. I've been working with a lot of engineers, so which is good. Me and Trey, he's my main engineer, but we do stem out sometimes when we feel like with Purgatory, we reached out to Realistic Productions, Eric, and he did really good at the EDM dubstep part of the song. I don't have anything against the beat already being made and then I get on it. I'm okay with that too, but I also like to start from scratch, which is why I said it's a lot of work, because we always start from scratch. We usually always start from scratch. What caused the emotions a lot of the time was relationships, or men. Relationships, things going on at home, really trying to be connected with myself and the bond that I have with my family. A lot of those things, in the beginning of Purgatory, my grandma was, speaking. When I first initially recorded her, I started recording her because, this is kind of dark, but we were in a place where my sister was they were telling us she might not be here long, and things like that and stuff. And so a lot of the things I started doing was recording things with my grandma, because I know she's older. I'm recording her voice and putting her on the album because I didn't ever want to forget what her voice sounds like. A lot of people save voicemails and things like that because they don't ever want to forget who that person was or what impact they made on your life. And we started doing that with Ava too, my little sister, and I do with my mom and stuff. So yeah, it was just one of those things where I wanted to put her in on that because, you know, I know she's not gonna be here forever, and yeah. I did a song with Punch, a couple songs with Punch, and that was pretty cool. Nico Deshawn, I don't know if you know who that is, but he's a really, really great writer. He's a great artist. We're actually going to be dropping that song. I don't know when, but we'll be dropping it. Yeah, it's a pretty good song, but it's with me, Nico, and Punch. I kind of got into that realm with them after I sent back my verse, or, you know, they showed it to Punch. They were connected to him at that time, and then that was kind of that. And then Punch reached out to me, and then he reached out to me on Instagram, and he sent me a song to get on. He sent me a beat, right? And he wasn't on it at all. So I was like, okay, cool. And I just, you know, I got it done in like a day or two, and then I sent it back to him, and there was that, and then we ended up getting on King together, so that was cool. So
on King?
There's a song called King that I was featured on Punch that he put on his album. He's pretty chill, he's pretty relaxed. I want to, you know, be like him one day. He's so like relaxed. I was like, okay, yeah, you do yoga. Destiny Roberts is one of my favorite artists. Really, honestly, I really love like everything that she's doing. She's really doing it. Dua, I like Dua a lot. May Joy, when I heard her sing for the first time, her and this other girl artist Chanel, they're really incredible artists. So I really enjoy their art and what they put out and what they have to offer. You know, it's usually a lot of positivity, or especially like with Dua, how into her, you know, her music or whatever she is, you know, doing. It's inspiring. I mean, there's so many more, like Khalik, you know, Rich Lee, Malik, Curtis, he's crazy. Nucky is really good. Who else? Gordo's the best. He's a pretty cool dude. Yari, there's a lot of artists. Jay Plaza, David Gaines. There's so many. Sean Lyrics. I mean, how many was that? What do you want me to keep going? Like, as in art, you know, artist Amy. That allowed us user space. So it's just, you know. And all of those people are so good at what they do, but they also just like they support really heavy too, and it's appreciated on all ends, because sometimes other artists, you know, they'll need help up if they're in a situation or in a rut, and, you know, socially, you know, we kind of come together, especially on the internet, social media, things like that, and sharing each other's stuff, or, you know, so it's a lot of love all around. All right, Staring at the City. This is Age Divine. Peace.
Staring at the city.
Staring at the city.
Staring at the city.
Staring at the city.
And you staring at the city.
This side looks really out of control, and then this side looks very structured. So it's just, I don't know. It's like two personalities on my forehead right now. I'm a Sagittarius. You know, I try not to follow it too much, but I feel like Sagittariuses are very like outgoing and outspoken, but they're also like very shy individuals. So like I said before, it's like hard to tell which side I'm gonna be. I try not to live up to the Sagittarius thing. I just be who I am, and then people are like, what are you? And I'm like, I'm a Sagittarius. Yeah, and they're like, oh, that makes sense. And I was like, okay.